All right, fine. All right, this is Livin the Dream podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Josiah.
And we got no Tegan today. He's trapped in the world. Wow, you can't even be. I guarantee you can't even see you right now.
I'll move my feet.
Move your feet, kick to the side a little bit. As you can tell, this is probably a little more laid back, a little more relaxed episode. I probably should have turned the screen around so we can tell, like, if you can see Joe's face.
So they can see.
Right, here we go.
Run.
I'm not running anyway.
The timer's going off 10. Why? Because you're scared you'll break a knee?
Probably.
Or break a hip?
Yeah, it's all possible.
Break a hip? Because, Sam, you're turning the wonderful 4-0 this year?
Yep. There it goes. Oh, look at that. Can't see your face.
Aren't I beautiful?
They just got a good shot of my armpit, too, I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice and hippie hairy.
Yeah, we might have to try and do some creative editing with that, I guess.
Just all of a sudden, when you walk up there, just all of a sudden the screen goes black right there and follows you.
This is censored for your safety. Or for your feelings or whatever, yeah. In case you can't tell, Joe's filthy dirty. I'm in a freaking tank top because it's hot here. And
welcome to Oklahoma heat.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows Oklahoma heat, I've been in the heat all day. I clocked out right at, I don't remember, I'd have to look at my time clock.
It's whatever.
Definitely, yeah, it was hot.
All I know is our HVAC guy has been busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Because us shop folk, we're spoiled. We like our HVAC to work. And when it don't work, they start crying. Good night, if they've been crying. Of course, some of the stuff, too, we have to for, like, customer specifications. Like, we have to keep it, like, money on the temperature. And it just seems like everything has been falling apart lately. And I'm just like, holy crap. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to do it. Stop breaking shit. I know. I just want to grease things and wipe things off, and that's all I want to do. I don't want to think. Hey, you can take that however you want. I'm really surprised that the mic's working that well if you can't see.
I know. I'm surprised too. I kind of wonder what the video is going to look like. This is actually working out really well. Yeah. I'm comfortable. My head's the weight of my head versus the alternating pull of the opposition force is allowing me to continue to stay here, and I can still. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Anybody listen to this one, if you ever want to work with me, but we're not here to talk about work. We're here to talk about my carrots that I grew in the garden.
Yeah. Old Farmer Joe. Got them sweet baby carrots.
Sweet. Well, they're not baby carrots.
They're baby carrots right now.
They're baby carrots right now, but I want them to grow to be big.
Yeah, I want to be big carrots. There was a breeze in the garage in case you couldn't hear that.
Yeah, we pulled those, dude. Out of everything we planted, so we have like squash, zucchini, watermelon, some pumpkin. We bought the small pumpkins.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. Not the jack-o'-lanterns or anything.
Harvest pumpkins or something like that.
Yeah, something. The real, the little ones you see that are always grouped in threes or whatever.
Yeah, the one that you get your kid whenever you don't really want to carve a pumpkin, but they want a pumpkin, so you're like, hey, you can decorate this one because I don't like seeds in the inside.
So we're growing those because the big ones, like, we don't have a need for like a massive one,
right?
Because there's so much, at least right now,
right?
Like there's so much pumpkin in that one. Like these little ones, like you can pick them and they're good for like 2 weeks before they start to really.
What do you do with them? Can you eat them?
The little ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can make pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie. You can use the seeds. You ever taken the seeds out of I don't know about the small one seeds, but I know like on the big ones, you used to take them and put them on a cookie sheet.
Yeah.
Put them in the oven and eat them like you could eat them like chips or sunflower seeds or whatever.
I don't like pumpkin.
Oh, you don't like pumpkin?
No, I don't. I don't like pumpkin pie.
The only pumpkin thing I don't like is this stupid fucking pumpkin roll bullshit that they always make at like Thanksgiving or holidays and stuff.
Okay.
It's like a
Yule log, but with pumpkin or some shit.
Yeah, it's like a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin log, but it's got like a swirl all the way through it. Oh. Like basically like they made a sheet of pumpkin bread, whatever, like just a flat thin piece.
Yeah.
And then they just coated whipped cream, and then they just rolled it all the way up.
Oh.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Sounds extra gross. Well, I
is
mean, actually,
extra
the
gross.
best part of it sounds like it's being covered up by pumpkin bread.
Hey, since we're talking about food, you know what? Oh, and our zucchini. We didn't even know. We don't know if something got cross-pollinated or if we accidentally got some different seeds. But we're growing zucchini that are like serious. I'll show you a picture.
I think you showed me a picture last time you were over here, like you'd pulled one off or something.
We are repeatedly getting those now.
No kidding.
Like we're like, oh crap. Like, and it's like they're growing within such a short period. My grandma was like, oh my goodness.
Right?
It's like, yeah, we planted them, and like we took some horse manure and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. My grandma was like, oh, be careful. You should make sure to research that. And if it's safety.
You put too much in there too, and I think it ups the nitrogen or something in the dirt. I don't know.
I know nitrogen's
can't grow
good.
Shit.
Well, we also did
Too much of
it's
it
not
is
like
bad, though.
it's not like just in the horse. Like
Right.
we put a small layer of that down as a base on top of like all the other stuff we put in there.
Potting
but then we put potting soil on the top, so when it rains and stuff, they're actually like growing down into more fertile ground. But since we're talking about food, you know what I haven't had that I really want to try?
What?
A turducken. Now you ruined it for me. Now I don't want one. Thought it was going to be good, but you just ruined it for me.
Well, because it's greasy bird inside of decent bird.
You're right. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. I'd rather go to the Tulsa State Fair and get a fried Oreo.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want nasty, greasy food, go to the fair.
Or to get shot.
That too. Yeah. I haven't been to the fair in years.
Me either. You know why?
Because it's expensive.
Because it's expensive. It's more than a freaking date night. Mm-hmm. I can go to Charleston's, right? I can go to Charleston's in a movie and get out for maybe $200. You go to the fair, you're spending $400 or $500 on rides, food, and especially if it's you.
What'll whip your ass is it like if it's you. Shit, try having
the lemonade.
kids.
$12 for some fucking lemonade.
It's probably 16 now. Because when was the last time you went to the fair?
Freshly squeezed.
Yeah, you especially squeezing my wallet.
Yeah, I don't know. And funnel cakes too.
How long was it? How long has it been since you've been to the fair? Because I know for me it's somewhere close to like 4 years. I think. Because I think
we're probably sitting at right about 4 or 5 years.
Because I think me and the wife went.
No, I have a feeling.
Actually, I think it's more. I think it's 5 or longer. No. Wait.
Let's just say it's long enough that I don't remember, and it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's over 3 years.
It was expensive.
It's over. I haven't gone.
It was expensive then, and it's probably even more expensive now. Thanks, Uncle Joe.
I think the only like real purpose I would have going is freaking going for like the animals and the horses and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to like go look at them and pet them.
Yeah.
Touch them. Feel them.
Careful.
Rub them.
This is a family show, kind of. Not really.
This is a family show.
No, not really.
If you're listening to this with your family, get the fuck off.
This is supposed to be shit you listen to on the way to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, hope you're enjoying this. Trying to keep the episode rolling, trying to keep it going up. But man,
yeah. Well, JoJo's tired. Tegan's stuck at work, so he'd be extra tired. And yeah, it's just one of those days. My mental capacity right now is like
yeah,
it's pretty diminished because
no, not your capacity, your functionality.
Sure. See, it's proof.
That's why I'm sitting here just hanging out.
Right.
Let's see, man. If this thing had a headrest, dude, this would be perfect.
Asleep. Well,
I could just talk like this all day long.
Hey, you missed it. Whenever Well, now they really can't see your face.
Sure they can.
No. Maybe.
Yeah, they can.
Barely.
Look at me go.
Super enthusiastic right now.
This is actually really comfortable.
I'm sure it is.
We need to build a bigger table, Sam.
Well, can they see it in the... Yeah, they can see it back there in the corner. We got all the wood over there. It's over there in the corner. It's just this whole thing of having time. What do you want to try and... better be careful. You'll start dozing and drop it so much on your face. You know, like the announcer for boxing or whatever, where the microphone comes down to you and you'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner. This episode is gonna be, they're gonna be like, what the fuck did I just watch? I bet we get like a minute worth of retention.
Oh, probably. They're gonna be sitting here wondering, like, what are these guys doing? We need to keep it copping. We got to keep the energy up. We got to keep it rolling. We're gonna go ahead and pick up the pace right now. So what we're gonna talk about, Sam, you ready for this? Ready for this? We're gonna jump into it. Okay, we're gonna talk about gender affirming pastors, right? And how they're fucking stupid, right? All these people that think that, you know, all the pastors that think it's okay to be gay.
No.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
No. There's no way. You better watch out messing with that plug. You're going to end up detaching yourself there. Okay. Gender affirming pastor.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Saw a video about it.
I'm intrigued by this, sir.
Yeah, you should look it up. You should look it up. Gender affirming pastors. I was like...
See, like those, that term, like they just don't go together, okay? It's like... Well, sure, yeah. Let's see.
Well, he's saying that.
So is it a pedophile or something? Goes around grabbing boys and girls and says, yes, you're a girl. Yes, you're a boy.
I mean, more than likely.
Probably.
It's
affirming.
Oh, and ASMR. Apparently, ASMR is a demon, like evil.
Really?
And summons demons. Apparently.
I had no idea.
Yeah, see, like transgender pastor and
what? So I'm just gonna go on record here, and we're gonna put this on the podcast. And if we get canceled, so be it. I'd love nothing more than canceled for something along the lines, because this is wrong. This is against the Bible. Period. And hold on.
If they're looking at this, they need to read. They should read the Bible.
Yeah.
And actually see, like, regardless of, like, it could be something completely different. Like, if you have a book and it has rules for you to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously these aren't showing the.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, here you go. This. What studies?
Why is he making a video about that?
Well, who? Him?
Yeah.
Or Ben?
No, him.
Who the hell is him?
Oh, I see him on TikTok from time to time. He's not important.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean the whole gender affirming pastor thing that's just, it's contradictory, because it's not hold service to affirm. Okay, you know what?
You want to talk about something else?
Hold on.
Let's talk about how the rich are buying assets, turning them into Bitcoin and other things like that. And they're getting ready, apparently, accordingly, and they're getting ready for the world to shift over to like Bitcoin and other things like that.
Never happened.
And they say that there's going to be the collapse of the American dollar.
Never happened.
Because the American dollar was backed by gold, and now it's not.
Still is.
And now it's not. It's backed by oil.
It's not backed by oil.
Did we just come across something that we can talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Then let's go into it, Sam. Alrighty, in the right ring, we've got Sam, who thinks he's right, but he's wrong. And in the right ring, we've got Josiah, who's right, and he's right.
So explain to me, sir.
So Nixon took us off the gold standard back in 1970 something.
Okay.
Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up. So we're making sure that we're getting our facts straight.
Right.
So we can, whoever's watching this.
Yep. So
when did the U.S. get taken off the gold standard?
Okay.
So look it up. And
now I will say that now we've surpassed, but that's why the value of gold continues to go up.
Get taken off the gold standard. Ready for it. Ready for it. Waiting. Ready for the internet. Go ahead and load. We're waiting. We're tired of waiting.
The United States went off the gold standard in 1933. Reservoir suspended the gold standard by executive order on April 20th.
1971.
Combat the Great Depression, not compression. However, the United States did not officially abandon the gold standard until 1971. Suspended the convertibility of the U.S. dollar to gold, effectively the Bretton Woods system. This event is known as the Nixon shock. Well, this is interesting. Okay.
You didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So remove the last remaining gold-backed currency. Okay, so what the hell is it? What is it based on then?
Oil.
No.
And
we don't produce any oil though.
And you know what, literally, if you go into it and you read about it, you know what takes care of if something goes wrong, you know what helps manage the dollar and take care of it?
What?
You're looking at the slave labor force.
Oh man, boy, this will be. We got to promote this one. Just if people make it this far into the episode, we'll have a fucking fire fest again.
Hey, all I'm saying, people need to read.
Yeah,
people need to go in and read. I mean, it was right there. It's written.
But everything on the internet's true, right?
No. But
right,
I mean, you can look all over the place, and it says that Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971.
Okay, well, So let's go this route then.
So that allowed, also taking us off of the gold standard, what that allowed the Federal Reserve to do is just print money like crazy.
Right.
That's whenever our debt that we had tied to us as a nation really started to go up, because now they were allowed to just print money and not have to worry about it. And at the same time, that's whenever you started people seeing, like, buying mutual funds and stocks. You know, things like that. What was the bonds?
Yeah.
Stocks and bonds, right? Because you understand what a bond is, right? Mm-hmm. Like a bond from the U.S. government.
I mean, I understand how it works. I guess I don't necessarily understand what it is. I know you put a certain amount of money in there and it matures.
Okay. So that's the investment. There's also, so basically like that. So the reason, another thing, like why people are like, oh, we keep accruing so much debt and we can't figure it out, and we can figure it out. It's just the politicians are greedy and they want more money. So what it is too, like if you buy so let's say me and you, just to make it super simple.
Okay.
Right. This is not, it's a lot more complex than this, but I'm dumbing it down for people that don't understand, if they're listening. Because if you're listening and you don't understand, you're dumb. But you know what's great? You start off dumb and everything, and then if you listen enough, you get smarter.
That's right.
So bonds, right? So you have bonds.
Okay.
And let's say you go, oh, hi, Mr. Government, I want to buy a bond, or I need this and to take care of whatever. Mm-hmm. And so the U.S. government goes, okay, that's fantastic. We'll give you a bond to take care of it. All right. Or here, let's.
Okay, so I think that's a little different than the bond.
It's a little different. You're thinking of. Sorry,
I'm thinking of an investment bond. You're talking about is like an infrastructure or an improvement bond.
So, yeah. So what would happen is you would. Wow, I'm too tired. You would. So you give the government, let's say $100,
right? And
they'll give you a bond in return for like, hey, thanks for giving us your money.
Right.
We'll give you a bond, and then it accrues interest,
right,
at a certain rate or whatever. Mm-hmm. And what has happened is bonds are interchangeable, and you can move them around and do whatever you want. So what has happened is the government has just been giving out bonds and bonds and bonds and bonds, and now it's when people cash them in, they have to pay. And so now they're looking like, oh shit, we're having an issue.
I'm just looking this up for my knowledge here, because I know what you're talking about. Oh wait, that is not.
look up U.S. government.
We'll do this here. Different types of financial bonds, not
in finance. Yeah, I don't know. Kinds of bond instruments. Government bonds. Treasury bonds issued by the U.S. government and Treasury to finance government operations and debt, or T-bills. Short-term government securities and maturities ranging from a few weeks to a year. Treasury notes. Medium-term government securities and maturities ranging from a few months to 10 years. Or Treasury bonds. Long-term government securities with maturities ranging from 10 to 30 years.
That's what I was talking about. What you're talking about is the next one, which is the
corporate bonds, right? Just to be more specific,
right? So that was what I was going to. Oh, apparently there's even more. There's municipal bonds. This is general obligation bonds, backed by the full faith and credit of the issuing municipality. Revenue bonds, backed by the revenue generated by a specific project or facility. Okay, so there.
Yeah, but look. Backed by the full faith and credit of the issuing municipality.
Right.
What the fuck? I mean, does that make sense?
Can we make a podcast bond?
Does that make sense at all?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's like you're loaning somebody money.
Didn't realize I got all tied up. We're talking about money. JoJo's sitting up now.
Right? Yeah. We found his gas pedal now. He's all amped.
It's driving me nuts.
One of these days we'll get this.
This is definitely an episode that people need to go and watch on YouTube.
Yeah, it is, because it's entertaining because of all this shit in the background and everything going on, and now he's done fucked his chair up and he'll never be able to get it right again. Fuck. He went from comfort Joe to serious Joe.
Okay, so let's run. But it drives me freaking nuts that people are like, oh, when people want to get mad and they're like, oh, I want to stay in this job and work it forever, and I don't want to do anything but this one thing.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking, people need to go and they need to work. They need to go.
Well, yeah.
They need to join trades and they actually need to see how it works, and there's a few people, because trust me, the people in the trades will be the first ones to tell you, hey, look, you are not cut out for this. Get the fuck out. Second off, at the same time, people do trades. I think they need to go and discover other things too. They need to see what it's like to either, I'm not saying you need to go from being a plumber to go work in corporate America. That's kind of those people are really different.
I mean, if you can do it.
If you can do it, if you want to do it, then yeah. But I mean, scroll back up.
All right, sorry. Because I started looking through all this shit.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying, like, the one thing that a lot of people don't focus on is the municipal bonds. When it says general obligation bonds backed by the full faith and credit of the issuing municipality, revenue bonds backed by the revenue generated by a specific project or facility. Okay, that makes sense. So revenue bonds. So revenue that's generated by a specific project or facility.
Right.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Industrial developed bonds used to finance industrial projects such as factories or infrastructure.
Okay.
But let's roll back to the general obligation. So pretty much what can happen is that's a blank check.
Nah, not necessarily.
In a sense, not hardcore. But if I'm looking at that backed by the full faith and credit.
Well, okay, but that's no different than me giving you $20. Like we've discussed something or whatever, and you're like, hey man, I'm $20 short and I need gas. Can I borrow $20 from you? That's the same thing as me giving you $20 for gas and me having full faith that you're gonna pay me the $20 back.
Right.
So I mean that's the general obligation, or it would just be like one of those deals. It just
funnels itself up, and then they just throw it off as extra debt.
Well,
that's what I'm getting at. It's because they're allowed to do that stuff where they're just like, we'll get you on the next one.
Yeah.
And then it just ring around the rosy, and the next thing you know, 100 years later, everybody's dead, and they're like, "What's all this debt?" I don't know. Let's keep doing the system the same way that we were taught and the way that we were told, and we don't have to think outside of the box because we're too stupid to think about it like that. And anybody that wants to tell us like that is just stupid. And we know what we're doing because we have more money. Because me having more money means you're automatically better than everybody, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanting more money is not the problem. Thinking you want more money because you want to be better because you want to get money is the problem.
Right.
Love of money is the root of all evil.
So I'll be honest with you, your little sermon that you sent me the other day, I haven't been able to listen to all of it.
That's fine. That's fine. Just remember, Jesus is watching you.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Jesus can watch me all the time he wants to, but
don't make it sound like
just
that.
be careful.
Watch me, Jesus.
Watch me, Jesus.
Father, forgive me for I have sinned.
Watch me do this trick. All right. So I'm going to go back to this whole gold standard thing because I guess I didn't really.
So you didn't really understand that the U.S. is backed by the slave labor force, which is the people that actually have to go to work and bust their fucking asses for minimum wage, while everybody else works their, And I'm not saying that rich people don't work their asses off. Don't get me wrong. But there still is that. But if anybody wants to come and tell me different, go for it. I'd love you to. Get on Facebook, just like we did with our freaking
union versus non-union.
Union versus non-union. Good Lord, y'all freaking spouted that off.
Yeah, they were fired up about that shit.
And then also being that, since we promoted that, it shows how stupid people are.
Yeah. Well, and then some people are just like, like, thanks.
Yeah, like, share.
Didn't even
Like,
do anything.
share, comment, subscribe.
Which I haven't looked at that post in a while to see if.
So the gold standard is a monetary system in which a country's currency is pegged to the value of gold. In this system, the value of the currency is determined by the amount of gold held in the reserve by the central bank or government. The gold standard has widely been used in the 19th and early 20th century, but it has largely been abandoned in favor of a fiat currency systems.
Okay, so now let's scroll down here to the fiat gold standard.
So you're trying to understand what that is. So the value of the currency is not directly tied to the value of the gold, but the government guarantees that the currency can be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold.
Yeah.
So now the government is controlling how much gold you can have, how much actual material thing that you can have in the real world for their fucking dollar.
Right.
So instead of, oh, well, gold is, we have this much gold and it's worth this much dollar. Instead, it's like, oh, we have this much dollar and we'll make it to where we think it's worth this much gold.
So in other words, Nixon and Roosevelt fucked us.
Nixon did.
Well, Roosevelt started it. It just was it.
No, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't do it.
No, I'm saying, listen, okay, so here. So Roosevelt stuck the dick in, and then Nixon went to the hilt. So yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt suspended the gold standard by executive order in 1933. Okay, so he stuck the tip in and opened the door for inflation. And then in August of 1971, President Nixon went ahead and shoved that bitch to the hilt where it popped out your eyeballs, and now the dollar gets as big as this table, and it doesn't matter. There's no relevance to reality. I understand now.
So quit working so hard.
I'm not going to quit working so hard, but
it was a joke.
Your mic looks like it's loose. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Oh, could it be?
Probably because you sat over there and dicked with it all. There we go. This fucking little idiocy shit. This is the kind of stuff that you deal with. This is what are we gonna call? We're gonna call this episode ADD with Joe and Sam. Interesting sounds. All right, so we got that straightened out here. So Mr. Roosevelt started it, suspended it because of the Great Depression, which. So this is a rabbit hole, a research rabbit hole here, because I could do shit like this where we go.
Yeah, but so in 1930, right? Was it? Oh,
1933.
1933. Okay.
Yep.
So Roosevelt took us off the gold standard, and it says that it was to combat the Great Depression.
Right.
Okay. So the Great Depression was from 1929 to 1939, which is the specific dates, not roughly, it started in 19... Shut up. Okay. So the Great Depression, for those of you who don't know, so it was a severe global economic downturn that affected many countries across the world. It became evident after a sharp decline in stock prices in the United States, leading to a period of economic depression.
So this is where it leads to the whole stock market thing right now. Like everybody... So I was talking to somebody, who the heck was it? To where, I know who it was, but I don't think I can say that name. Anyhow, I was talking to somebody about the stock market, and I was, my grandfather played the stock market, like hardcore played the stock market.
Right.
Like, he woke up in the morning and he watched the stock ticker when the market opened, and he would call and phone in trades and all of this stuff. Like all day he day traded, and like that was his retirement. That was his hobby. And I wish I would have paid more attention to that because he worked it really well. Really well. Like my grandfather passed away at like 75 or something, I think is when it was. And he had good money. I had a stupid ex-wife, but we'll leave that alone. I would be much further along in life had I not had the ex-wife.
I hear that a lot. That's why people should seek God to help them with choosing.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a PSA. We're going to put this right here. If the woman that you're wanting to marry says that she doesn't want God in the vows, run.
She said that?
Fucking run. Yes. Specifically, she wanted it in neutral service. She didn't really want to have God there. And it was...
Can I cut your hair? Or what is it? The people sit down to get their hair cut, and she's like, can I touch you? Is it okay if I touch you?
Right.
Be like, bitch, how the fuck you expect to cut my hair?
Exactly.
Dumb.
So yeah, anyhow.
So the crisis of the stock market crash, also known as a Black Tuesday, was characterized by the economic hardship of high unemployment rates and widespread business failures.
So I feel like we got really close to doing this again here not too long ago.
We did with COVID and everything. It looked, and people still say, like, with the way things are going, I think we can still pull out of it, because nobody knows for sure how it's going to go. Nobody can, people can predict closely, but I don't think that everybody is like on the dot.
Like,
and also,
this is how it's going to go.
Also, in this day and age, there's so much information coming out that unless you can condense yourself into getting like one or two or three sources where that's all you get your information from.
Right.
But then we've also learned to realize where that's the issue is if you only choose to get your information from Fox or CNN, you're going to have a fucking problem.
Right. Well, because both of them are left-leaning.
It's only going to be murder and destruction, and there's nothing good going on in the world. It's going to be like, oh, here's a snippet of one little thing. Oh, this little boy, got his life saved by St. Jude. And then they're like, did you know that a completely opposite country on the opposite side of the world that we have absolutely nothing to do with is experiencing a bunch of turmoil, and the only reason we went over there is so we could take their oil because they employed an oil embargo against us, and blah 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 blah. And people just go fucking nuts over that, and they're like, we're all up in arms about it. And it's like you can't get up in arms about the child molester that's down the street from you guys. I don't understand it. He's okay. He's okay. The rapper Tom McDonald said it the best: a heartbeat isn't life on Earth, but bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth.
Yeah. I saw that too. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready.
That's the part that really gets me going.
Shit.
And then also, you want to talk about stocks if we're talking about trades and stuff?
Yeah.
The issue. Oh, Beerin.
Yep,
Beerin.
Oh.
So
I've got to behave.
So another thing with stocks, like if people would just do any amount of basic research to understand it, they would understand a little bit and might be able to start going in and investing and realizing that they don't have to work their life away at McDonald's.
Well, okay, but hold on. That's all right. Hold on. Because where that conversation was leading was that the stocks aren't the way they used to be. Like,
hell no.
No, you can't look at a company's business plan, their mission statement, what they plan on doing, and be like, okay, I want to invest in this company, and they're gonna go, and it's gonna grow my money because they're gonna grow, and my money's gonna grow with them. No, that's not how it goes. GameStop. That's all I have to say about that shit.
Roaring Kitty.
It's still fucking going.
I know they're holding.
Yeah.
Have you seen how much Roaring Kitty has? He posted a picture of it. I'm not gonna disclose that amount. You can go and search it for yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. How the fuck do you spell that shit?
ROAR.
Oh.
Ing. Kitty. Look at that. Roaring Kitty on Twitter.
There it is. Is that where you seen it? Or was it something
It's gonna make you log in. Oh no, it's not.
Maybe. Close. Welcome to X.
Yeah, see, that was his first post after a long time is what he posted, and everybody started losing their shit.
That was August 30th of 2020. Okay, well anyhow, all I know is like the whole GameStop thing is not, it's proved that you can wreck the system on the stock market thing.
Yeah, it's proved, and whenever the big people don't like us playing the games, they shut it down, aka the Robin Hood event.
Right.
That happened to me because I was that asshole that was like, bye. And I was getting ready to cash out, and Robin Hood froze up. I'm the one who got fucking screwed because Robinhood froze up.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, sorry, we can't process any more of your transactions. And I don't know how it was for other people, but I got blocked out of mine for like a week.
Yeah, they froze. Everybody's shit got froze for a week.
Yeah.
Because they were like, whoa, this is not okay.
Yeah. But you're telling me that company's allowed to just freeze shit, but they can still trade on other stuff can still go
Well,
on.
yeah, no, but that's the political. That's how that shit works. That's the man working.
They got all the money and they got all the assets.
Yeah.
Well, get on the line, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm kind of on the fence on that aspect because you too can be the man. It's just all on how you want to work the system. So we'll go for the route of a more moral path here.
Yeah.
With Clinton Anderson. Like somebody that I did not like. I was like, no, I don't like this guy. Fuck this guy. He's a squeaky little Australian dude. Well, now retired Clinton Anderson at like 45. Clinton Anderson, fucking.
Is he really 45?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Crikey, brother.
Crikey, brother. Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah. That motherfucker. He was like, I'm retiring at 45. He's like, and he didn't give a shit. But that dude busted his ass.
Right.
Then he worked holidays in the interview that on the Converse Cowboy that he did.
I think so.
Dude, 3-hour interview, okay? And you can listen to it on the podcast. You don't have to watch it on the tubes of you. Just listen to it. It is phenomenal.
It's a lot of information to process. Give yourself like 2 days to really.
Yeah, I mean, listen to it in segments. Like, listen to it for an hour
I
and
listened
then
to
walk
it
away.
all the way through.
Dude, I did too. Same day, because I was like,
I know. And
I was hanging on every word.
After it finished, I was like, I called you afterwards. I was like, I don't know what the fuck to talk about. It's like, I'm still sitting here trying to like comprehend and absorb all that information that just came out of that dude.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there talking. He's like, oh, they make me talking to it. Oh, fuck, I can't even do it.
Yeah, no.
My name is Sherlock Holmes.
No, but like his whole deal was he was like, and the guy kept asking him, he goes, why did you do it? He goes, because I was poor and I was hungry. I mean, and that's really what it boils down to. A lot of these guys that are freaking multimillionaires that are playing behind the stock wall and are just fucking waving thousands of dollars at people going, bitch, you will do what I want to do. And those motherfuckers, they have either learned how to play the game, which is everything in life. Everything in life is a game, and you can play it a multitude of different ways. You can play it the wholesome way, or you can just play it the downright fucking dirty way, and it's all about you. And Clinton said it outright because I'm fucking selfish. He goes, I wanted it for me, and he's like, I've had several divorces, and that was mainly because I was trying to grow a business, and I was about me and what I wanted to do. And either you can get on board, bitch, or you can get the fuck down the road. And he said that shit. I was like, respect, bro. Because, it's hard to do. It's hard to be that fucking focused and committed about it. Because he'll sit here and tell you, he'll go, if you ask me today, is my way the greatest way on the planet? Fuck no. He goes, no, it's not the greatest way, but it works. And it works for me. He goes, but there's a million other people out there that can accomplish the same goal a different way. He goes, it's all a matter of how dedicated are you to your product? How willing are you to sell that product? And that was it. And he's like, now he goes, now I'm making more money than I ever was because of the digital. He goes, it used to be you had to have $3 million in fucking inventory of all of your DVDs and your VHS and all of that shit and tapes and stuff like that sitting in a warehouse that people could buy. He goes, but now it's just a fucking hard drive that you type in your email address and little Susie in fucking Switzerland picks up a copy of your latest and greatest.
Which I'll say the other interesting thing that I did not know about too. Apparently, because this is another, because I'm always... What was that? You got a scab on your knee?
No, it was fucking steel-toed to my knee that's already been hurting as it was.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, it's crunching again. God dang it, Joe.
Old man.
Yeah, you ready to turn the big 4 up?
So also when he's talking about all that storage, if he didn't sell that stuff, he would have to pay taxes on that at the end of the year for sitting in the warehouse. I was like, what?
Yeah, and I think he talked about that at one point where he was about to lose his ass because he had like $2 million in product sitting in storage, and he was like fuck, mate. But God, man, we rabbit trailed a lot on that one.
Well, that's okay because people need to understand you get taxed on your paychecks.
Yeah.
You pay money when you go to do things. You get taxed then.
Yeah. How fucked up is that?
When people look up the tax loop and you look at everything you get taxed on, you go, no wonder I don't have any motherfucking money.
Exactly. Somebody popped that up the other day and they were like, okay, let me get this straight. So the way your system works is you earn money, which you get taxed on for the money that you've earned. And now, in order to enjoy that money, you have to go out and spend it. And when you spend that money gets taxed. And if you buy an asset that is large enough, guess what? At the end of the year, you get fucking taxed again.
Unless you roll it into a 1031. So if you're selling your real estate investment and you roll it into a 1031 that allows you to, take your profits and invest them into something without being taxed on them or gaining capital gains tax. On top of that, people need to... full of information. If people would just spend the time, right? If people would spend the time to go, and there's a difference too, in that, this leads back into, I think people should seek out financial planners. Yeah. Like a good one I would say for the majority of people. Not a lot of people will agree with me, and that's fine with this, but I've been looking more into it. But Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, they're going to have an opinion. You're going to have an opinion. But for the majority of people that are on the essence of let's say they make 50 to 100K a year. If you're making 100K a year and you're living paycheck to paycheck, dude, you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like if it's like you have no wife, no kids, no dog, no nothing, you're living in an apartment and you're just living paycheck to pay. Like I'm talking the extreme. Yeah. Like there's a difference whenever you're like, hey, I'm providing for my family. You've got 2 kids and a house and you're like doing it for them, right?
100K right now ain't shit.
Absolutely not.
With a family.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But people need to go and seek out that financial planner because those are the people that are the nuts about that stuff.
Well,
but you got to be careful. You want to get a good one.
Well, and you don't even have to get a good one. Don't take someone's like singular word as fucking Bible. Right. That's where I think everybody gets screwed up.
If you take your dollar and you rip it in half, you have $2.
Actually, I do believe if you have at least 25% of that bill, you can exchange it for $1. So therefore, technically, that is not a false statement. You can make $1 into 2. So there you go. Go out, destroy a bunch of federal currency. You can double your money.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
In there's savage mode. Rip them in half. Make 2.
Take one month, and then take one the next month. Holy crap. For legal reasons, that entire segment was an entire joke.
Right, yeah. No, please. Sorry, Uncle Sam. Please don't come take my stuff. Actually, somebody I wouldn't mind sitting down with one day would be
Donald Trump.
Well, fuck yeah, I'd love to sit down with Mr. Trump right there. I'd love
to sit down with Donald Trump.
No, I'm thinking of a family member, and I don't know if you'd be willing to sit down for this shit or not.
Your brother?
Yeah. Because, on one hand, I'm like, I kind of like the dude. On the other hand, I'm like, fuck you, you make more money than me. But I respect the hustle. The guy, I watched him go from a shit stain at his company to he's now got people wiping his ass and doing very well. So yeah, no, but he's playing the game, and he was really fucking good at playing the game. And I'm in that. I finally transitioned. It's only taken me 20 years.
I was gonna say that's what I'm like learning right now. I'm like, as much as I hate it. As much as I'm like annoyed, like whenever I get annoyed whenever it's like, oh, well, we have to do this and we have to do this, and it's like step by step, but it's like, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's easy. It's just if you have the patience and you're willing to put in the effort to play the game, do it for fucking 3 months and see how much your shit improves.
Yeah, easily. I mean, well, okay, so we can go two different routes there, and that's that. You've started looking into the biblical aspect of things. And, and
I am by no means
right. Well, no, neither. I'm not going to say that I'm any kind of an expert as far as on religion.
I would say I am no means a preacher, but I have started to dive into the Bible and read it, and started to assess things in my life through a biblical view a little bit better to help me with the way I was feeling and the way I felt. And all I'm going to say is I started reaching out and praying, and I want to say weirdly enough, but it's not weird because
it's weird to you because it's
weird because it's different. It's different, but it's like all of a sudden these stepping stones of like, hey, the dreams you've always wanted to do and what you've said and you've achieved.
Yeah.
And there's also that, and then there's also like these, I always had this, when I talk about this, I had the self-limitation of, I was trying to be godly, and it was like, I don't want material things,
There's
but
a
I want
balance.
there's a balance. And I'll say researching that and reading that in the Bible, it's like, it's okay to want to be on a boat in Monaco.
Right.
There's nothing inherently wrong
about
wanting to be on a boat about Monaco. But how you get there is the problem.
Yeah.
And from my current social status that I'm at, it's going to be a little bit harder, and I might not be able to be 25 on a boat in Monaco.
Right.
But if I work towards it and I pray, hey, I might. I'm not praying to be on a boat in Monaco, though.
I mean, you can, but
it would. Hey, if I'm blessed to go be in Monaco and just experience it for a week, because I know there's people that vacation there too.
Yeah,
but it's also about who you're surrounded with.
Yeah, I could totally take this back to the other side of the conversation and just say Ron White, Monaco, Dr. Phil, and that right there.
Yep, exactly.
This one, anytime somebody says Monaco, that's the first thing that pops to mind now. Thanks, Ron, you ruined it. But,
God damn.
Right. Shoo, buddy. But yeah, no, you so I've started doing some stuff as well where I'm working with my lead, and he's given me some
knee pads.
Sorry, he's given me some. Wow, now you should feel like crap.
You just said scripture.
Exactly. No, he's given me some scripture to look at as far as from a leadership standpoint.
Okay.
And I'll share it with you as well after here, but. I guess it really doesn't matter. James 3 is what I'm reading now.
James 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's talking about the, being snared by the words of your mouth. And
dude, honestly.
So that was the sermon that you sent me he was talking about that as well.
That he was talking about that as well. Like the things, like whatever you want to call it, people will talk about words of affirmation. What was it? I was talking to somebody the other night about it, but like words of affirmation, like it's like they talk about speaking it into existence, like speaking it to life. Like, it might seem dumb.
Oh, I say that all the time, and I say
which I need to go home and do that tonight. I need to like write things down, and then I need to go say them out loud. Because I think it also changes. I've been watching. So the George Janko podcast. So George Janko used to be on the Impulsive podcast, and I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. I'll say that outright. I'm not a fan. I think he is not a good human being. I think he should pursue the Lord. To put it nicely.
Okay.
Sorry, I almost had construction worker talk come out. But George Janko,
job site appropriate language.
George Janko has a podcast now that honestly, like, super wholesome dude.
Okay.
Like, I really like the guy.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen, he's injured. He's interviewed people like Andrew Tate, Tony Robbins, and a whole slew of other like high people.
Right.
From someone who's like, "Hey, I just started my podcast. Want to come on?" Like you're like, "Whoa!" Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I've been watching his. I'm trying to finish it because it's also almost 3 hours long.
Right.
But it's his Tony Robbins interview and talking, and Tony Robbins is talking stuff. And I've always I've heard about him since I was a kid. Right. Like Tony Robbins has been like, oh. And it's always been that weird, like, I've never really believed it. And stuff. And like, I'm watching this, it's Tony Robbins and George Janko talk about God.
Okay.
And with Tony Robbins talking about some of this stuff, I'm like, oh, like it's just freaking cool.
Right.
The way he talks about stuff.
Well, and so we'll talk about, like, you know, out. So are you saying like he's outwardly, like he lets his faith sit out there in front, or is
but he's also super cool. He's super like, he allows people to be themselves.
Right.
In a sense, he doesn't like, hey, I believe in God, you should too.
Right.
He doesn't.
And that right there to me is like the biggest turnoff for the Christian faith.
They talk about it too. You know what the biggest enemy for Christians are?
Themselves.
Exactly. Christians.
Yeah.
Other Christians are more harsh on other Christians.
That was always my thing whenever I was doing youth ministry was, you know, you get a kid that's come out of a drug using, parents in jail, they're in foster care, any number of situations, and you can't be like, you need Jesus. Jesus is the only thing that'll solve your problems.
And I know we're both white, but look at what the white man did to the Indians. They make shows about it. The nuns, the nuns, they used to beat the women to get them to, you know, Catholicism.
Yeah.
Catholicism. You know, this is the paddle. I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass if you don't follow.
Yeah.
And you're in it, and I understand, like, you're trying to convert them to Christianity or whatever you would want to call it, whatever your motive was, but it's shitty.
But that's the thing is you have to, and this is my opinion, and this is not, I mean, it's not founded in facts, but it's founded in results. Is, you know, there's a lot of kids that I've seen that have went from complete and total crap situations.
If you have results of what happened, then those are facts. Factual results.
And they're facts. But I have seen kids come out of really shitty households and become amazing members of society.
Tony Robbins, and I'm only saying this because, well, I'm saying this also because I've been watching and been hearing his story.
Yeah.
He had 4 different dads growing up.
Oh, wow.
Like dads, and then he said in the last one, told him, like, you're never going to be anything. You're never going to amount to anything. You won't be worth it. You should just go basically kill yourself. And I mean, look at him now. And it's like one of those things where it's like,
fuck he is.
Oh, you don't know who Tony Robbins is?
No, I don't.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm looking at here. If it says that he's a life coach, I'm automatically turned off. Oh my god. All right, so beer thought on this one. So I was at work one day, and this random guy walks up to me at work, which my facility is a very secure facility. So if it's some rando, like, you're supposed to report them, period. And so this guy walks up to me and he goes, "How you doing?" "I'm good. How are you?" "Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so-and-so." "Okay, cool. What do you do here?" "I'm a life coach." "Oh, where's your badge?" "Oh, I don't have one." "Okay.
What?
So, sir, you're not supposed to be here, and I would like for you to stay here as I make a few phone calls." I made some phone calls, and it took a while to find out. And then I have not seen him since, but he was walking around and was like trying to talk to people, I guess, or at random.
Talk to people or gain clients.
I have no idea, but apparently he was a company-sponsored life coach.
What?
Yeah. I was not super thrilled about that, and I was kind of like, because I don't know, to me a life coach is somebody that didn't know what the fuck they want to do when they grow up, and they just want to talk to people, and they can manipulate your mind and then teach you to drink poison Kool-Aid. Jonestown. That's all I have to say about that.
Jonestown.
He was a life coach too. He coached their asses right into a poison Kool-Aid.
From what I have seen, and I think that was the vibe that he used to give off for me. Mm-hmm. But like looking at him now talking about certain things, you know, because some stuff that you watch that I saw like back
when I was a kid. Also, as a kid, looking as an adult now, I'm looking at it through a different lens.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
and I agree with that.
So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Because as a kid, I'm like
That's
he
stupid.
has a Awaken the Giant Within, and like one of the big things is he had like a guy. There was a big thing that went real viral all over the internet before TikTok happened or anything, but it was this guy that was like real. He was a smaller, he was a thinner frame guy and just was real not confident in everything.
Captain America.
And he was like, I think it was Tony Robbins, but he was like, there's a lion inside of you, and da da da.
Right.
And the guy, like, long story short, that he ended up like, let that lion roar, and da-da-da, and he was like, ah, and the guy was like, ah, and just like started roaring and just like went crazy. But like listening to the way Tony Robbins does stuff, he talks about things that I'm like, this is stuff that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Like doctors would rather give you a pill, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to do stuff that I also have proven results for that will have long lasting results, and you don't have to take a pill.
Yeah.
He's like, I've done 30 minutes of consultation with people before, and within 30 minutes they're fixed.
Yeah. Well, and I can sit here and I'll tell you right now.
But he's also an expert in that field, and there's certain things that he does.
Well, and you know, y'all throw stones as you want. Go ahead and you like, comment, subscribe before you start, you know, throwing all those stones. But I'm going to tell you right now, depression's a mindset.
Oh yeah. Oh
and,
yeah. People,
and everybody they want to get down in this deep well, and the worst thing you can do whenever you're feeling deep down and low is isolate yourself.
you know what's interesting too? Tony Robbins was talking about this on the podcast. He goes, you know what people are finding out? He said, you know what's interesting are placebos.
Yeah.
He's finding out about placebos, and I started listening to him. He said that they did it on military. Military people. So you've heard about that?
Oh yeah,
dude. I was listening to him talk about. I'm like, what the fuck? So
there have been tests that have had an actual clinical drug versus a placebo, and they have done a side-by-side test for a period of 5 years. I don't remember what the drug was, but I remember whenever I was going to college.
He talked about it.
Okay, so the people that were taking the placebo and doing self-help tasks showed more results than the people that were taking the drug. The actual drug caused deeper depression than the people that were taking basically a sugar cube.
Yep.
And they showed greater results. The majority of the drug. So I've been on a heavy.
Let me see this.
I've been on a heavy antidepressant. And actually, it was an antipsychotic.
You were?
Yes. Yeah. for several years, and I blame the ex-wife for it. But
I think you're also just super, because my doctor recommended me some pills.
So Depakote was I was taking 1,000 milligrams of Depakote.
Not Klonopin.
No,
I wasn't taking Klonopin. I just know that's a big one.
So Depakote is literally, if you look it up, the first thing it says is an antipsychotic.
How do you spell that?
Is DEPACOTE.
What?
DEPCA. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm pressing
your fingers are in the wrong spot.
Fingers are in the wrong spot.
ACOT. Yeah, E. It'll get you there. Oh, it's K. Fuck, I even spied.
Depakote is what it would. Depakote. WebMD.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh,
Uses and side effects.
I don't know what these buttons are clicking on the side.
Hey, don't click the side button.
How to use Depakote. Read the medication guide. Oh, fucking lovely. I love it when they do that. How to use it? And it's like, read the medication guide. And you're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. You silly goose. I already fucking read it.
Okay, there you go.
This medication is used to treat seizures, certain psychiatric conditions, manic phase of bipolar disorder, or to prevent migraine headaches. It works by restoring the balance of certain natural substances, neurotransmitters in the brain.
I was a fucking zombie on it.
Dude, you can talk to Tegan, and Tegan can vouch for me on this. So I got diagnosed with horrible anxiety. Like they said, debilitating anxiety. Like bathroom floor, curled up, like could not function, could not move. Like I still, sometimes I have those, I have to like, now I retreat back into myself and I'm like, God, I give these thoughts to you. And it actually really helps.
Yeah.
But for me, the big issue I was running into is like I would be eating. Like I could just be sitting here eating. I could talk to you right now, and all of a sudden it would hit. And I would just I'd have to jump up and run out. I remember a few times I would just jump up and run out of the house because I would just I would just be freaking out. Why? Wow. I had no idea. I was just losing my shit. Huh. And
I think your daddy needed to beat your ass.
That's the thing is I did get beat.
Right. Well,
but I was in my brain, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. Why do I keep doing this? There's nothing wrong with me.
You know what's stupid? So not to redirect it from you, but so as I've gotten older, and I don't know if it's the social media influence or what, but it seems like I have gotten, well, for instance, we went to that rodeo. And I don't know if it was because I was trying this new energy drink or if it was the stress and the anxiety that was surrounding that rodeo. But I think I had probably the closest thing to a panic attack prior to that rodeo. Because my heart was racing, my thoughts were fucked, and I was like, this is crazy. And maybe that's why my horse was like, do-do-do-do-do. But anywho, but yeah, it was, I don't know. I wonder if the level of anxiety and all of that stuff, I wonder if it's become so much of a thing because it's been labeled. Because everybody's had fucking freak out session in some point in their life. If you sit here and you tell me that there was not a point in time that you wanted to sit in fucking corner and cry and rock, you're not doing anything, okay? Because I do believe I can count on one hand that there's probably at least a handful of times.
I do believe, though, as a man, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
But you need to do it alone.
Yeah.
You don't. If you have a wife, you do not need to cry in front of your wife.
No.
If you are going to go cry, because as a man, you have to stand strong.
Yeah.
You don't. And also, as for the women, you do not want your woman to see you weak.
A certain level of it. I'll agree with you to an extent.
There's that, right. I'm not saying you don't want to be a fucking douchebag.
Right. Have some compassion, you fucking heartless pricks, but don't be a earring wearing, shoulder bag carrying,
Slim Shady listening.
Wait, whoa, easy. What the fuck's wrong with Slim Shady?
There's nothing wrong.
Why are you throwing that in
just
there?
that he's got a demon attached to him because he sold his soul to the devil to make him music.
Maybe. I don't know.
He did.
I like his music.
It's his music. Well, of course you would.
Because it's the devil.
Evil. Evil surrounds you.
Are you going to find this? What the hell are you even looking for?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. You were something about Tony Robbins, and you're going to close that, and it's gone.
Oh, it's going to be... That's why you did that.
Yeah.
No, so back on the pills. So I took one. So I took. I think it was like 2 or 3 that I took, and I don't remember the names. I think the last one I did was it was only 2. So the first one I took, it was to help alleviate and things like that, and it was. What was it? So basically what it did to me is turn me into a zombie.
Yeah.
I literally was viewing the world as black and white. I didn't have any joy, but at the same time, it was stuff happened. I was like, okay.
Right. Well,
right,
so
I'll go to work.
So
I'll do whatever.
I had the same situation with the Depakote. It got so bad to where I would take it and then Yep. That's all I wanted to do.
That's how it was for mine.
And then, so I told my doctor about it, and the doctor that I had at the time was like, "Oh, you just sleepy? Here, take this other pill." So he counteracted an upper,
pill
downer
upon
with
pill
an upper,
upon pill upon pill.
And so then, when it came right down to it, then I was like, okay, so now I'm taking 3 pills to solve one problem.
Yep.
And this is no bueno. So then, you know what I did?
No.
I removed the actual problem, which is the ex-wife.
So you were so not only were you taking the 3 pills to solve a problem that you thought it was going to solve, but it wasn't even solving the issue.
No.
So you still were taking 3 extra pills on top of still having the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was like taking not methylpristone, because that's a no drug. But what's the god dang it? What is the drug they give to drug addicts instead of doing meth? It's methadone. There it is. Had to talk through it there for a minute.
I was gonna say there's a few different ones that they can give.
Right. So it's like continuing to use meth and then taking methadone on top of it, because you're not getting rid of the fucking problem. You're just adding to it. And yeah.
So the second one that I took.
Ow.
So the first one like made me like a zombie, right? Like I literally would go to work, come home, and I would just be like, and I would just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like in something, I knew it was wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not stupid,
Right.
you know? And I went to the doctor and was like, hey, because I already don't like taking pills. I have a headache. My arm hurts, you know? I have a nerve back here. Took me a long time to figure it out, but it will radiate in this arm sometimes, and like this thumb will like kind of pinch up, and
Rub through hand.
and sometimes it feels like it's getting weak, but I still have functionality and everything.
Right.
And it's just a nerve sometimes that'll hit, and I have to go to a chiropractor to whatever.
Yeah.
Because it'll travel up, and it's not the left side of my face, but it's almost like a crescent moon. It'll hit like just that nerve that runs around.
Right.
And for the longest time, that's part of it. It was literally a physical manifestation of the anxiety.
Wow.
And so now I still deal with it sometimes. It also happens whenever I drink soda and I get real gassy. But
so that's another one of those things.
that's another thing.
Not
Soda's
to-
really bad for you too. Don't drink soda. But I love a Pepsi.
Not to diminish the struggles that you've had, but it's one of those things that like right there, it's okay. So if the first time that you ever went to the doctor and you were like, hey, I'm having this nerve and it makes this like this side go weak and this over here does this weird crescent moon thing, and he was like, what'd you have to drink today? And you were like, I had 3 Pepsis back to back in like an hour.
So
he'd be like, all right, there you go. You need to quit drinking fucking Pepsis. If you never drank another Pepsi from that point forward, and every time that you had that or something along that lines, you'd associate, man, that Pepsi fucked me up. Would it be a Pepsi addiction, or would it be anxiety? I mean, but I'm just saying, is all of this shit that has developed, this goes back to the transgender bullshit. Sorry, I'm on a fucking rant here because you spiraled some shit up here, and I was just like all the thoughts clicked together.
Roll it.
So all of this stuff, the debilitating anxiety and stuff, which I'm seeing that with a lot of kids nowadays because they're not socially active at all. None of them fucking actually sit here and do this.
Right.
So
have a
anytime
conversation.
they're in a social situation, oh my God, I have anxiety. It's because you didn't fucking do it. Anyhow, so the social anxiety issues, the transgender stuff, none of that shit ever really kind of took place until somebody was like, oh, you feel like a unicorn? You should be a unicorn. Okay, so now is this? So we're gonna circle this all the way back because
we're circling
all the way back. Okay, so we've got the doctors that are diagnosing this, that are suggesting these thoughts to you, that are making the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're a boy. You're not happy. You're a boy. Let's cut your dick off.
Yeah, so they're not happy. So you're not happy. So the doctors are taking advantage of that. They're the ones that are making the money, that are making the investments, that are now diminishing the dollar because they're hiking the dollar because they're printing the money to make this all stuff, and it diminishes the gold standard. All this is because of Nixon. All of that is bullshit and not at all factual. I should have went into
put the glasses on. Damn it!
I should have went into savage mode. Is what I should have done. But still, anyhow. So
part of that is a little bit on the money though.
Right. I mean, I say some of that because I'm fucking around, but I say some of it because it's fucking true.
I'll say this too. The sad thing that upsets me, I was watching a video. There's a woman entrepreneur that I like to watch, you know. She used to work for a bunch of financial companies. Now she buys some businesses and helps them grow, or she owns certain parts of businesses. And I was watching one of her videos, and she was talking about whether to sell pills or sell vitamins. and looking at it through a business aspect lens, looking at it through a, and she wasn't for either one. She was just saying, if you had a business and you were doing this, what makes the more money?
Right.
And it was like, pills make more money.
Yeah, because you can take that pill and sell it for anything. A vitamin's only going to do certain things.
Right. But also, people, and she said, it's like Americans are wanting a quick fix.
Oh, 100%.
She was like, do you sell a pill and you do the quick fix thing, or do you feel like you do the right thing and you try to sell a vitamin, but you might go out of business and waste your life savings? Mm-hmm. And it was like,
shit, fuck. Homie got knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true though, because
that's why you got to have multiple streams of income.
Well, and not
for
even
people out there that are listening, if you are listening to this, there is no such thing. There is 100% no such thing as
get rich quick.
Well, get rich quick schemes are false.
Yes.
Well, there might be some where you get rich quick and you either get caught or you get killed. Because you can get rich.
True.
Yeah, or die trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it's passive income.
Yeah.
So there is no such thing as passive income.
Okay.
In the sense that people want to talk about it, right? So I've been doing the research things. I've actually been looking into buying one. Okay. So let's talk about that stuff real quick. We've talked about having anxiety and we've talked about having stuff. If people would just go out and do the thing, you realize that it would be so much easier. I have a fear of skydiving. I honestly hope to one day skydive. But if I do,
I'm with you, homie.
Dude, it is so hard to get over that fear because I wake up at night while I'm sleeping, because sometimes when I'm falling while I'm sleeping, I will wake up because I'm afraid.
As long as you don't ever hit bottom, you'll wake up.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I guess you could say I'm not really afraid of falling. It's more the sudden stop at the bottom,
right?
Is what gets me.
So I made that statement just now, and this is another fucking beer thought here. But I was like, you know what? Like somebody said that, and they're like, well, as long as you don't hit the bottom, then you'll be fine. I'm like, well, how the fuck do you know? Did somebody die and come back and be like, yo, this is my spirit? Just so you know, when you hit the bottom in a dream, you fuck, nigga. I might have to bleep that one out because somebody will think that I said the hard R, but I didn't say the hard R. There was a U and an A. What are you doing? B?
Right.
Are you writing beef or be about it? Bear. There you go.
Bear. No, so looking into these businesses. So I've been trying to find one that I want to go actually spend the money and go buy, because from a working man standpoint, these businesses are not cheap.
No.
Because the hard part, because I'll be doing financing to go and buy one. It's not, I'm going to have to put money down.
Yeah.
And for people that need to understand this, you've got to put 20% down on an investment property if a bank is going to loan you money.
You can't just get a corporate bond?
No, sorry. I'm the little man. Remember, I'm a part of the slave labor force.
That's right.
But once I get big enough and have enough money and worship the devil, then I can have enough money. But no, there's good and bad people on both sides all the way up.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Anyway, before we go down that rabbit hole. No, but so I've been looking at buying these other businesses. So like a laundromat or car wash and stuff like that. So talking about passive income, people don't realize that, you have to work to live. The Bible talks about it too.
Yeah.
But it's okay, it's okay to not have to work as much and still live. I think people need to understand it's okay to not have to work 80 hours a week.
Oh, yeah.
And still live their life,
Well, yeah, because if you're working the 80 hours a week, then 99% of the time you're also not putting God first. Because if you are faith, wife, family, children, then if those are your priorities, then you'll go far.
The 3 F's. Faith, family, finance.
I don't know about the finance part of it, but...
Well, God wants you to have the things that you want. Anyway, so...
Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah,
Passive
sorry.
income,
Well, we got to set God aside real quick. So, but buying these businesses, they're what you would consider passive income businesses.
Right.
But, like, let's take a car wash, for example. You still have to be willing to be there all the time in the beginning to really get it up and rolling and going.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the same time, once it's rolling and going, you still have to dedicate your time to be there for
Yeah, but you're not having to do like, I mean, like even this could be considered a passive income, because if people sit out there and listen to it, then it ticks up the listens, and then eventually we get to the point to where there's financial gain from said listens or views or something.
Yeah,
along
but
the lines.
instead of passive income, this is passive expense.
Currently, yes, it is a passive expense, and this is why you get episodes like this that are off the rails. There you go. That's the title. It's Sam and Josiah off the rails.
Choo choo.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's what I talk about, is those things that I want people to understand, that, you know, I've been looking into this stuff and people need to know, because I don't think I'm 23.
Right.
I'm not in the position to be like, this is what you should do with your life.
Hey, you know what though? But the thing
But
is,
I still, within the short 5 years I've had of adulthood, as you would call it, from graduating high school and getting out and everything, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff. Because there's also, I know people that are like, I started my business while I was in high school, and you know, and I'm out of high school now, and look at me, I'm super successful, and I got all this stuff going. And
I'm
it's like,
selling my truck for half of the value I just told some rando that it was worth.
well, that's the thing, is you look at it and you go, okay, so I'm making more money than you in doing something that I'm more than happy with.
Right.
You know, because that's where I'm like, for me, I'm like, I'm not happy anymore. I need to change something.
So I will tell you that, and this will circle back to the biblical thing, and this is, I guess it's because it's kind of the season I'm in right now, but one thing that I have learned over the years is that happiness, if you look at the base of it, is based off of happenings.
Yep.
Based on what's around you, what's going on around you, and stuff like that. What you need to focus on is finding your joy, aka what I talked about in the last podcast, which was finding your why. What makes you, you know, you got your what you want, all that stuff, but you need to find out why you do what you do, which will correlate to your joy, which will diminish your happenings.
Which is funny that we talked about that, and it's like all of a sudden these things in my life, because I can only speak for my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's all either one of us can speak for. We can't speak for all the millions of people that'll listen to this eventually.
Eventually.
But, you know, this is just two mediocre perspectives, and, you know, we hope that it makes an impact. Maybe
I wouldn't even call it mediocre.
Maybe it'll just,
because I've met some people that I'm like,
mouth breather.
There's a tray out there.
That's right, and you should go thank it for the oxygen it has given you. But yeah, I mean, this is just our perspective, and it's what we've gained through our life experience. This is one of the things that I love about this podcast, is it's two different.
Let me ask you something else.
Okay, what you got?
Do you think everybody is born with a soul, or do you think there are demons and like just empty humans walking around us that just do a day-to-day task?
So up until you made that statement, I would say yes.
So you think they're hollow humans? And when I say hollow,
I question that there's some people that I see out there that I'm just like, do you even have a pulse? But yeah,
I call them NPCs.
Yeah,
we've talked about this on the previous podcast.
Yeah, we have.
Where it's like we used to go to breakfast on Saturdays, and I would say, "This room is full of NPCs."
Exactly.
And Tegan would be like, "Shut up," because I would do it every Saturday. Every Saturday, we would walk into like what was this restaurant? It was called the Big Biscuit. You know. And we walked in there one time, and I was like, it was a Saturday morning. It was like 9, 10 o'clock. Saturday morning, we walked in, and it was like, as I walk in, it's like looking at everybody. And I'm like, do you have any like realization of what life is? Like, do people understand like there is so much more to life than the way they're living right now?
So, and you say that, and I sit here and I think about, so sometimes I just go to lunch by myself. You know, I don't want to interact with anybody. I don't want to hang out with anybody. I just want to go sit down somewhere and eat food and watch.
You're a lunatic.
I am a lunatic.
You're fucking weird.
Yeah, but sometimes, you have, of course, I have all the social interaction with people calling me constantly all fucking day long, going, this is broke, this doesn't work, I need you to do this, I can't wipe my own house. So sometimes I want to have my 30 minutes of peace and fucking quiet, and I want to watch other fucked up people in the world. And I had one of those interactions like you're talking about today where I'm like, this is a moment in the Matrix.
I have those a little too often. Where I'm like walking through and I'm like, why is everybody so fucking stupid?
Well, and then so I sit down in this restaurant, and this is a small hole-in-the-wall restaurant anyhow, okay? So it's kind of like off the beaten path. Now, a lot of people know about it, but if you work in the area, you know about it.
Okay. Is it a Mexican restaurant?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a everything restaurant.
What?
It's an everything restaurant. It's got gyros, it's got cheeseburgers, it's got coney dogs, it's got pizza, it's got salads, it's got fucking everything, and it's yum. Like, it's my favorite place to go.
Please don't ever do that again. That was gay.
Yum. There, I did it one more time just for that. Anyhow, whatever. It is my favorite place to eat. But I sat down in there one day, and I was just kind of watching. And, like, these people would just walk in, no expression whatsoever. Just walk in, get their food, just go sit down. And it was ironically similar to my situation because everyone walked in alone. No one sat with anyone else. There was only two groups of people. There was still only two people in that group. And it was oddly quiet in the restaurant. It was weird. But that was one of those deals where I had that moment where I was like
waiting for it to pop out of your belly and you're like, ah!
Exactly. I was like, this is the fucking Matrix. This is entirely what it is. Like, there's a glitch in the Matrix. Of course, then there's the woman that was on TikTok or whatever. They had the chickens that glitched. Have you ever seen that shit? So there's a video where the chickens, they're like running around. And so just so everybody knows, this is a self-preservation thing that chickens do. Is when there is a predator nearby or the chickens get spooked, a lot of times they will freeze frame until they deem it safe. It just so happened that there was like 6 chickens that were just kind of like bebopping along. Well, the woman she's like, oh, these chickens, they're so great. And then all of a sudden they were like, and she was like, babies, what's going on? What happened? And like she walks around these chickens like the whole time, and they're complete fucking frozen. Like, they didn't move at all.
Do you think she was the one who scared them?
Yeah, I think she spooked the fucking chickens, and they were like, ah,
yeah.
and then they froze. But it was just,
but that's the other
funny.
thing.
But it's a glitch. She's like, is this a glitch in the Matrix?
Well, also I think people are so they're so self-contained with their own world that whenever they also with the internet, like, we've gotten to the point now where, like, you talk about people come in that restaurant, they leave, right? So you get your Taco Bell, leave. Get your Taco Bell, leave. And you know what they do? They live off of the government. They go home and they look at videos. And, like, they would see a video like that and they'd be like, it's the fucking Matrix. The world's going to end and you better understand it that the world is coming to an end because I saw a video about chickens stealing. They're freaking the fuck out. And then you have someone who's, like, grew up on a farm and, like, has actually, like, tried and researched to become a animalologist or whatever you would call those people. And it tells you how well I am up with the terms.
I have no idea I can't even correct you, so we're gonna go with it. If you learned about them, they're aminals, you're an animalologist.
But what I'm saying is, those people will be like, oh, it's just chickens, like you said, it's just chickens being normal. Yeah. And it's like, people need to understand, like, there's so many things in life that people aren't understanding. You're like, and also people have no frame of, like, because you can go down that rabbit hole, right? Yeah. You can go down the rabbit hole. I did
earlier, where it was just like I went this way, and then I was like,
but it's those things of, like, people. I wish people had common deduction skills.
Oh God,
common self deduction skills. We were like, oh, the chickens froze. Me, when I see that, I'm not immediately going, that's the Matrix. I'm sitting here and I'm going,
I'm gonna kick one of them over.
Well, no.
for legal reasons, that's a joke.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. It would be more like, in my brain, I'm going, okay, the chicken's all this, like, when I see the video, I'm like, did someone, because I know CGI is like really good.
Right.
So in my brain, I'm like, did someone CGI this?
Right.
Like, and then like, because I didn't know chickens did that. Like I have chickens. I've had chickens. You know, I've had plenty of them, and I've never seen that, never heard of that.
Right.
Like never dealt with it. My chickens ran up to me every time I fed them.
Fuck yeah.
But it's that thing where it's like I've never, like, seeing that video, I'm like, is that CGI? That's got to be something.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be. Well, and that goes back to the whole, there's so much, and you brought it up, and this kind of ties into my little rant about the anxiety and all that stuff earlier, is there's so much information and bullshit all in the same bucket, readily available on that little clickety thing right there, to where all you got to do like that,
scrolling.
and you can have anything you want right in front of you on a screen. And it doesn't matter what it is, because you can phrase your questions to derive your way. And this is one of those things that it was in college, was open-ended questions. I fucking hated it, because like people were asking me, they were like, you have to ask an open-ended question. And then I'm like, so
what is an open-ended question? Do we need to...
No, we don't need to, but you can look it up, see what it is, and see how it's defined. But
before we move on, let's see what an open-ended question is. Encourages the respondent to provide a detailed and thoughtful answer, often in their own words. Unlike closed-ended questions, it can be answered with a simple yes or no. A specific choice list. Open-ended questions require the respondent to think critically and provide a more in-depth response.
So, in other words, one of those things. So an example here of
how do you feel?
And yes, that's good. That's an open-ended question, but it's an incredibly generic question. It's a generic one of those.
Okay, so
questions.
what's more of a manufactured?
So a more specific question would be, you know, do you like podcasts? That's basically a yes or no question. An open-ended question would be, what podcasts do you enjoy that inspire you? It's a directed question, but it's still open-ended, because it's one of those deals as to where I'm not saying...
Because legit, whenever you asked me, like, if I was to answer the question, you were like, do you like podcasts? My brain would be like, well, what kind of podcasts?
Right.
That's what my brain does. I'm like, well, what kind of podcast? What do you like?
But
why are you asking me if I like podcasts? Who are you? You know? Where's my lightsaber? Yoda!
Send you. Yeah. But so the whole open-ended question things, I don't remember where the fuck this went, but it drove me nuts in college, because they were always like, ask an open-ended question. And I'm like, I don't want to ask an open-ended question. I want to direct your thoughts. And that's one of those deals that I think kind of ties back into all the other bullshit rants that I've had here, is that you can ask a question to the old interweb, just like with AI. You can ask a question in a manner that will give you the results that you want, and continue to ask questions regarding that topic until you get the result that you want by asking that question.
Well, you can also do the same thing with whenever people need to learn too, that I've been learning, like, because on TikTok, my TikTok has all of a sudden been filled up with the spiritual and Bible stuff. And I've started learning, because there's some people that I've been trying to like pick out with more discernment, and like, okay, this person's a good creator to like watch and listen, and like they actually provide information and value, and like this is a cool person to watch. And then you see other ones where it's like the verse where it's like, you all are condemned to hell, and it's got like ominous music blowing, and then it's like just a bad background, and like some of those will pop up, but then like they'll pop up, and then another creator will stitch it, and he's like, this is dumb. He was like, this is just fear mongering.
Yeah.
Like, all you're doing is fear mongering and making other people scared. And why would they want to come to Jesus? Why would they want to come to God whenever you're just fear mongering and like telling them? Speaking
of like random TikTokers, helping horses heal. Have you seen that one?
No, I'm not on the horse.
No, but this one's a bridging kind of gap there, because he is a motivational speaker, but he is very old West motivational speaker. Like
Oh,
how,
like the,
how are you feeling today? Are you feeling downtrodden? That's great. Get the fuck up and get on your horse and get out there and do what you got to do, because those cattle are dependent upon you. You don't
Really?
have the option to sit on your ass and do such and such. You got to get off of that damn phone and get out there and learn something. But that's kind of the way he is. But I like it because he looks the Old West part. And like he's always got his horse in the background or something along those lines. But where are we at? Holy shit. This is going to be the longest episode we've ever had.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
How long have we been talking?
We're almost 2 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's an hour and 38 minutes.
Holy shit.
So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to go behind the paywall a little bit. And but y'all got extra read all about it this episode, because we totally did not intend on this. We started off with absolutely nothing in mind and just spiraled. Yeah, it was
laughing and loving.
Hey, it was off the rails, the same and Joe. So anyhow, so we're gonna go behind the paywall. We're gonna go behind the paywall. This has been a Living the Dream podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm just high.
We'll see you next week. If you're late, you're lost.
You're lost.